Teen Talk, where we talk about issues that have to do a lot with children, teens, young people, and I'm sure you'll find advice that really helps. My name is Saphiya.
And I'm Tafara Dale.
And today our topic is, are children growing too fast? I think this one's quite important because honestly, if you look at these days and what kids are doing, it makes sense.
It is kind of a topic where it's something that we can relate to, something that we all know. And yeah, it's a question that we ask ourselves. Are we growing too fast?
Exactly, because with school where we have to do a lot of work, and then sometimes you still need to do your chores, and then if you want to have extra pocket money to use at school or just to treat yourself out, you're going to need to make money, and sometimes you have to do that by yourself.
I think to some extent, okay. So I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm in high school. I'm in my last year of high school. And, at this point in time, I already have my life planned out. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then the pressure is real because I feel like back in the day, people didn't have to know what they wanted to do at such a young age.
Yeah.
But at Form 3, at Form 2, you have to decide, oh my God, I want to do sciences, I want to do arts, I want to do commercials. But then you don't even know what it's all about. You don't know what you're trying to do. At some point, you haven't even found yourself. You actually haven't had that moment to yourself where you actually reflect on yourself and think, oh my God, I can do this and I can do that.
I think that's very true because, while you're on that journey of finding what you want to do when you're older, you still need to, know, okay, I want to do sciences, for example. Now you need to know how you're going to do that. You'll know what you want to do, but you're going to need to find a way to do it. And while you're in the process of doing it, you're going to need to know what's the next step.
Well, not necessarily, because... Okay, let me say it like this. When you're in Form 2, you're pretty much new to high school.
Yeah.
You don't know what happens in the older life. You're basically coming back from primary school and people are still fussed up about, oh my God, how many units did you get in primary and what did you do, this, that. So you haven't found time to yourself. You're still putting pressure on yourself, thinking, oh my God, I want to make money for the family. You have this friends thing whereby your friends are telling you, oh my God, we have to be rich. We have plans. We have all that. But then you don't know anything. And we don't have people to actually guide us through that. And I think, it's a decision that we make at such a young age. And I don't believe it's necessary.
Yeah, I think that's true because that was a scenario. For example, we could also say let's say maybe a 14-year-old girl, right? Cooking salsa and whatever else for the whole family. That's already part of a grown-up's role. Or let's say you're around 16 and you're already having your own little business of baking or whatever else you're doing. You still need to act like an adult most of the time these days.
Well, it's not necessarily. Sometimes it's because us as kids, we put pressure on ourselves. We try to make the best of what we have, trying to make our parents feel like they're doing a lot. So you kind of want to take the pressure off them. But then I don't think that that's necessary. And to some extent, us as kids, we need to know that. We need to know that we need to be kids because we need to have a childhood. And because, there's this saying, I'm not sure if you heard it before, but my dad used to always say it to me all the time. Tafara, don't stress yourself. You always have... No, high school will be the best time that you'll have. As soon as high school ends, life starts.
I don't know why people say high school is great because I started this year. I'm now in Form 1 and I don't see what they mean by high school is great. It's going to be the best years of your life. I do not. The homework. Really?
It kind of is actually. You notice it when you do the transition from O level to A level because... when I came back from A level, when I came back for A level from Australia, I was in Australia during my first term. So I came back and I was so stressed. I didn't know what to do. All my friends were in Rusununguko. My parents wanted me to go to another school. So I'm thinking, oh my God, what should I do? What should I do? Should I go to my friends? Should I do what's best for me? What's best for my mental health? Because I feel like we need to appreciate our mental health as well. But then my parents wanted me to go to another school. They didn't think my school is good enough for me. But then that's the school that I wanted. So at the end of the day, I just made a decision based on my mental health, not thinking about my future. And I don't know. It's because I guess as a generation, we don't have career guidance. We don't have people to guide us through what's happening in the modern world, because we are the modern world, not our parents, not our older siblings who are probably in their mid-20s or late 20s.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, I think we are growing up too fast. Yeah.
Mostly because of the pressure also, though, because, all these different things that we have to do, and then we still have our environment, because, sometimes friends, you might be in a specific friend group, and everyone there likes acting like they're in their 20s, even though you can clearly see that they're about 15. That means you're also going to have to try and act that way if you want to fit in, or you have to find another friend group. Right? And you might not feel like you're going to find another one, so that also contributes.
Well, actually, there's kind of like this thing about firstborns. Firstborns, like, I feel like there's a lot of pressure that is put on the firstborn, because the firstborn is basically the only child that is raised by the parents. All the others that follow, I've seen it in my family. I actually live with my brother right now, and he does everything. He literally does everything, and I feel like he didn't have a childhood. And yeah, I'm actually really happy that I got to have one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm the oldest, and I'm happy that it seems that younger siblings also appreciate older siblings, but I think my sisters are going to need some time to actually notice that. Because when you're also being the oldest, you have to also be a co-parent. You're going to need to help your sisters with their homework, because your parents know that they can trust you to help them. You're going to need to help them maybe to get ready for school in the early morning, because your parents will be focusing on the youngest.
Yeah, I think that's what happens with the firstborns. But then no one actually tells them to do that. Like, I'm not sure if you get what I mean. They kind of like feel it's a responsibility.
Yeah, no one has to tell you,
something that they have to do, and no one actually tells them to do it. But anyways, I'm a younger sibling. I have a deputy parent, and I appreciate my deputy parent because he does everything for me. I appreciate him, and I love him for that.
That's nice.
Yeah, and yeah, I hope he has a childhood at some point. Yeah, at some point when I'm working, I'll make sure he has a childhood. He will have to go back to being 15, to being 16, having all the girlfriends, having all the fun he needed to have. I'll make sure of that.
That's nice of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so pressure of being mature, we also know about that. Like the environment, we've spoken on that. Then we also have the case of not growing up too fast. For this, this is something that I actually think about a lot though, because some kids, they're actually too scared about the future.
Oh yeah, I'm actually one of those kids.
What? Really?
Yeah, I haven't figured it out like what I want to do with my life. I don't know what's out there for me because the world is evolving. I picked this side, but then there's a light on the other side. I'm like, okay, I want to go to that part. But it's actually because I don't know what I'm doing. Right now I'm 17, and this is the only time that I get to be 17. And it's the first and the last time. I won't actually be 17 again, and I've never been 17 before. So I don't know the mistakes that I'm making. I'm just learning from them. Okay, I've done this, and I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, okay. At least you're learning along the way, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually learning a lot. Plus, I actually have a lot of older siblings, even the ones who are not my blood siblings, but yeah, they're there for me. So that's like, thank you. I love you. Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to say is the friend groups you're surrounded with, because I've spoken about the groups that you might want to fit into,
Yeah.
but then there's always the case of finding the right people for you, because when you're in your 30s, you're going to want to look back at your teens and say, oh, I like those kind of friends. Maybe I should give them a call.
Well, actually, I'm a person who changes friends almost every term. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. I know I'm the problem because I've like attachment issues and all, but then to some extent, I found my circle, but only 6 years into high school. Well, I found it in Form 3, but then they traveled to the UK and all, so I had to start looking again.
Oh, that's
till I found
sad.
them right now in Upper 6, because I can confidently say I love my friends.
That's good.
They're like really good influences on me. But then I don't know. I don't know. Okay, for me to actually be here, it's a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know how to express it, but I think you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
For me and with my friends, right? I'm mostly friends with kids in my class. So then, since we're Form 1s and we just all moved to high school, we always do our best to bring the best out of each other. Because if someone does something wrong, they'll say, "Oh, she was with me there," and then everyone's like, "Oh, no, I wasn't," even though you know you were. And in our school, it's one of the rules that we shouldn't lie. Like, we should tell the truth as much as possible, which is a good thing because it stops a lot of problems. But I think you know what I mean. You don't want to be involved with anything bad.
Well, I feel like in the adult life, you have to lie. Like, I understand that it's kind of like a thing of no, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that.
But everybody lies.
But then, no, not necessarily.
But
There are some people who don't lie. They're actually brutally honest, and those people are mean.
My sister's like them.
Okay.
Yeah, she goes too far. Like, if she's saying, Saphiya, if someone is saying, Saphiya, that doesn't look good on you, she'll say, take that off. The sweater is ugly.
And she has facial expressions.
Yes, it's terrible. Honestly, everyone laughs at those kind of things, but it's not really nice being told that what you're looking like isn't great. Or, let's say, she's not wearing something else. I'll say, Olivia, you could try wearing something else. And she'll say, what, is it too ugly? Then I'll say, yeah, okay, I was waiting for you to tell me. I didn't know you wouldn't tell me properly. I could have worn this and you wouldn't have done anything about it because of the tone.
Well, okay, so like, I think in your story, it's kind of like is a thing where people think, oh my God, I have to do this because I'm a friend, I'm an older sibling, oh my God, how do I say this? My friends, I feel like they do some of the stuff because they're trying to be a mother, they're trying to be a father, they're trying to be a friend, they're trying to do this, do that. Okay, she's seen her mother do this, so she wants to do that. She's seen her, like he's seen his older brother doing that, so he wants to do that because he feel like he needs their approval. You know, if you do it in front of someone, you're like, oh my God, I need their approval in order to do this. Yeah. So I think, we are growing up too fast. We're taking on responsibilities that aren't ours. And we don't have to do that as a generation because we need to be young. We'll never be young again. In the next 10 to 20, in the next 5 to 10 years, not 10 to 20. I'm going to have my own kids. And now I have to make sure I give them a childhood. But I didn't have mine. So I wouldn't know what it's like. I'm not sure if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think I do. So what do you especially miss about being a kid?
What do I miss about being a kid? Well, I was never a kid. Well, I grew up with my aunt. So I was basically the second born, kind of. Yeah, I had my youngest, like she had kids who were younger than me. So I was basically an older brother. So I can say I knew what childhood is. I was always the older sibling. Oh no, Tafara, you're the older one. You have to do this. I'm like, cool. Yeah, so I don't miss anything about being a child.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't miss that time when you could just sit down and not care about the homework because it doesn't actually affect you if the teacher says you have to do it next time?
No, I'm actually doing that right now. I'm having my childhood right now. I started having my childhood last year. I decided that I don't need to grow up so fast. I have older siblings to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, let's say around like kindergarten and stuff like that. I did not like kindergarten that much because it was just too much like playing around. I actually liked school back then, and I still do now, but in kindergarten, I loved doing math and spelling my name and stuff like that. So then I'd feel like I was already looking at the future a bit too much. Then, in like from grade school, grade 2, 3, those kind of stuff, I still liked school, right? But now it was actually about math. Because once you're going from addition to multiplication, then you actually feel, oh, that's a lot. So I actually like the learning process of certain grades.
Okay.
But now I'm in high school, and I'm very happy about having my free time on Saturdays. Saturdays feel more important now than they did before because I have time to read, I have time to play, I have time to just sit down and, well, not think about anything. That time is also needed.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have that. But again, you're in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. That's the time you enjoy. That's something that I can tell you. Do enjoy that time because it will never come back. As soon as... Do you do Cambridge or Zimsec?
Cambridge,
okay. That's a bit hard. I do Zimsec, so Cambridge is hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it get harder like as you go up or?
Oh, I've never done it, but I know about like my siblings, my younger siblings, they do it. So I know when I see, oh my God, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I'm not sure about the whole Cambridge Zimsec thing, but I just want to study so that whatever it is, it seems easy to me. That's another thing, because when you're a child, you also look at your future and you care about what your parents think of you. Because most of the time, children, let's be honest, in Zimbabwe, right, kids care about what their parents think of them a lot. And I think that's really a good thing.
Not really. I don't
What do
think
you mean?
so.
Is it only me?
No. There's like a couple of people who are just like you. But most of the people, we're not trying to impress our parents. I'm just trying to give my kids the life that I never had. That's the reason why I'm working so hard. I don't want my kids to have to go through what I went through because of hardships, because of this, that. Nah. I want to give my kids the best childhood they can have. They
That's
don't have
nice.
to grow up so fast. They don't have to grow up thinking about responsibilities. They don't have to think, oh my God, where are we going to get, like, when are we going to get the next meal and all that. And I know that out there, the people who are doing that, right now they're actually working, working for the family instead of going to school. We also have child-headed families whereby the older siblings, especially if it's a girl or a boy as well, but then they have to take responsibility because the parents have neglected, they've died, they've done this, that. So yeah, I feel like the only reason why I and some of my friends or my school colleagues or my classmates or something are working so hard is not to please our parents, but just to, have a better life. Yeah. I think we have something to maintain. Social media is giving us way too much pressure. Like, you see celebrities at 25, he was already driving a GLE, he's driving a G-Wagon, and you ask yourself, why can't I do that? I can do that, but not for the parents, not for the people, just for
It's also
yourself.
for yourself.
Yeah. For my mental health, because that's like really important.
Well, for me, I usually try to tag my family along into anything I do. Like, I can't even spend a night without knowing my sisters are in the next room. So, usually, when I'm thinking about myself, I'm thinking about seeing my parents smiling, my sisters laughing, and then, I don't know, going to a fancy restaurant or something like that. And obviously, it's on me.
Okay, so do you see what you're doing? You're growing up fast. Yeah, like, there's no need to do that. Your parents have accomplished it in life, and you don't owe them anything.
I know,
But then-
I just feel happier knowing that, well, for me, generally, when I'm actually acting as a child, I'm reading books because that's what makes me happy. Or I'm just playing games, something like that. But then there's also a side of me where when I'm being having my own fun time, I'm planning about what I want maybe a specific month in my future to be like. Like maybe a month where I'm only having fun with my sisters.
Okay.
I just like planning in short. Yeah.
Okay, so you're like a long-term goal kind of person. Mm-hmm. Okay. I love that about you. That's the first thing we have in common. Oh my God, applaud.
That deserves it.
Thank you so much. I needed that. Like, that's the first thing that we have in common. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I feel like, long-term goals, they give you something to look at and think, oh my God, I want to do this. They give you a a path in life. But then they also destroy you mentally. Because if you're thinking about what we're talking about, are we growing up too fast? Why do you need long-term goals? Why, if you can't even make it to Friday, what's the thing? What's the rush in making it in 5 years, 10 years, having a GLE, having a house in Boroda, having a house in Madokero, and all those fancy places? There's no need to do that. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I see what you mean. Well, sometimes I think if you feel like life is rushing you too fast, because that's also another case, like everything we've spoken about, you're going to want to look at your future. So when you think life is rushing you too fast, I think it's one of those times you should just sit down, think peacefully. And when I say think peacefully, I mean don't think about anything at all. Like don't think about school. Don't think about what you're going to do in the next 5 minutes. Usually I think you should use 3 minutes on this because, you might get a wake-up call from maybe your sibling or your mom saying, Saphiya, come, you have to go now. Let's say it's going to school, right? That's what you can use your first 3 minutes in the morning to do, depending on how early you wake up as well. But just having 3 minutes to yourself can make a big difference. Just sitting down, maybe looking at something that you like. It may be a picture, anything.
Well, I actually feel like one way to deal with this is kind of I don't know. I actually feel like in order for kids to have a childhood, parents should contribute. Because the moment that I sit down and start thinking, I see things that I shouldn't see. if you know that you have problems at home, if you know that you have this and that at home, the moment that you sit alone, you're going to reflect on, oh my God, she's doing this, and okay, that's what my mom's doing, that's what my dad's doing, that's what my uncle is doing, and I don't feel like that's healthy. So I wouldn't advise one to actually sit down and think, because that's very unnecessary. But to a certain extent, yeah,
I get what
some
you mean.
alone time is actually really nice. Yeah.
Well, one of the last things I want to say is that you have time to rest. Like everybody, you are allowed to rest, okay? You don't need to force yourself to work. You have time to rest, and then you also have time to focus on making sure that your life at school, at home, everywhere is still organized. Yeah, okay? Just make sure everything is organized, and you're allowed to rest. That's what bedtime is for.
Well, guys, thanks for vibing with us. Take care of yourselves, and don't forget to be a teen while you still can, because the childhood is not for long.
Yeah, it isn't. So remember, make use of every day you have of every year, because you're only going to turn 5 once. You're only going to turn 10 once, 15 once, 20 once. Every year, you're only going to be that one time in your life. So make the most of it. Well, I think that's
agree.
everything, right?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.